What's happening, everybody? On today's show, we are recapping day one of SEC Media Days from Atlanta as we saw Lane Kiffin, Brian Kelly, and Eli Drinkwitz at the podium. Guest-wise, we'll catch up with LSU wide receiver Jack Bech, and Ole Miss offensive lineman Nick Broeker will stop by to talk football and his cooking skills. Locked on SEC starts right now.
You are Locked On SEC, your daily podcast on the Southeastern Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what is happening, everybody? Welcome into a Locked On SEC from Atlanta. It's great to have you guys along. We'd also like to thank LinkedIn Jobs for being the official college football recruiting sponsor across the Locked On College Network. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnCollege. Terms and conditions apply. I'm Chris Cordy. Thanks for making Locked On SEC your first listen every day. Remember, Locked On SEC is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube and at LockedOnSEC.com. Let's jump into it. Let's go around the conference.
Boots out to the right. Intercepted.
Makes the handoff.
Throws in front of the ball. What a catch.
Around the conference.
And we start at the podium this morning as SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey addressed the media. And one of the big topics of the day, Oklahoma and Texas. When are they getting here? Of course, with conference realignment being that also important topic that everybody wants to talk about, Greg Sankey revealed it is not his decision to decide if UT and OU will join the SEC prior to 2025. He said, that's not up to me. That's about the relationship between Texas and Oklahoma and the Big 12. The two schools will be eligible to join the SEC July 1st, 2025. Part of that, could they come to some kind of buyout agreement with the TV rights and all that? We will see. At Big 12 Media Days a week ago, Brett Yormark, their commissioner, did not rule out an early exit there. So feeling more and more like this thing may happen sooner than 2025. Just don't know when. Sankey also shared his message to SEC coaches from the spring meetings in Destin. He said it's never going to be the same, but it doesn't have to be the way that it is. What is needed right now when it comes to NILs and things like that is collaboration, deep thinking about real-world solutions, and everyone participating in the conversation. As far as further expansion goes, Greg Sankey said there's no sense of urgency in our league, no panic in reaction to others' decisions, meaning USC and UCLA moving to the Big Ten. He said, we know who we are confident in our collective strength, and we are uniquely positioned to continue to provide remarkable experiences educationally and athletically to student athletes. In other SEC news, Brian Kelly, he spoke with the media for the first time as the LSU head coach, and he says he's feeling more and more comfortable in the role as LSU's new head coach in the SEC. He said, I think fit is about the ability to run a program at the highest level. I've done it for 32 years. I've had success at Notre Dame, Cincinnati, Central Michigan, developing players, player development. Those are the most important things. I don't think that needs to be geographical in a sense. I've gotten to love where I'm at in Baton Rouge. I love the people. They love football. They love family. They love food. And that fits me really well. Brian Kelly also singled out Joe Fouché and Greg Brooks coming over from Arkansas, said they have been outstanding additions to our program. He said it's just two Louisiana kids that wanted to play at LSU, and they have been great additions. Meanwhile, Lane Kiffin speaking with the media as the Ole Miss head coach, and Lane obviously had one of the most iconic moments in college football this past year as fans threw trash at him, including a mustard bottle. And so, of course, a fan at SEC Media Days had to get Lane to sign his mustard bottle. Lane talked about it at the podium. He said, yeah, I did sign a mustard bottle. That was the first guy to come up, which I think he had an Alabama shirt on, so I was a little confused. But, yes, I've signed a lot of mustard bottles and golf balls and all that kind of stuff. Kiffin was also asked about what he's learned about NIL in the year since it was implemented. He said, how do you do well at that? You have really good boosters. That's how you do well at it. I'll say what other people don't say is, it's like a payroll. In baseball, what teams win over a long period of time, teams that have high payrolls and can pay players a lot. We're in a situation not any different than that. I'm sure other people have said it. I said it from day one. You legalize cheating, so get ready for the people that have the most money to get the best players. And now you have that. So Lane Kiffin never shies away from making a controversial comment or two. And lastly, Missouri head coach Eli Drinkwitz, he hit the podium and said he's focused on his season and trying to turn this thing around with the Missouri Tigers, have a better year. But obviously, realignment talk has popped up surrounding Missouri, and there's been some speculation that maybe Missouri could consider leaving the SEC and jump into the Big Ten. At SEC Media Days Monday, Drinkwitz was asked about the Tigers potentially leaving. He dismissed the question, joking, no one has asked him about being traded to the Big Ten. So there you have it. That is the latest going on here from SEC Media Days and the latest from all the coaches here at Media Days. When we return, we're going to talk with LSU wide receiver Jack Bech. That is coming your way next, right here on Locked On SEC. Thank you guys for making us your first listen every day. And listen, as the sun comes out and small businesses are back in business, LinkedIn Jobs is making it easier for you to grow your team. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the people you want to interview faster and for free. You can create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach a network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 810 million people. You add your job, add the purple hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring so your network can help you find the right people to hire. It is why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Every week, nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, continuing on from SEC Media Days, and always fun to catch up with an LSU Tiger, a guy who caught a lot of balls last year for him, hoping to catch more balls this year. He is wide receiver Jack Bech joining us now. Jack, what's going on, man?
Not much, just enjoying the experience.
Outstanding freshman year, 43 catches, 489 yards, a few touchdowns. I mean, this happens for everybody who goes off as a freshman, but it's like, how are you able to settle into the SEC and be so productive as a true freshman?
For me, football is football. It's just a game at the end of the day. Obviously, the guys in the SEC West are the best football players in college football. I mean, if you were to get the average, any team day in, day out can beat anybody in the SEC. But just just not overthinking things, kind of just letting things come and letting things flow. A lot of the things I do are kind of more, I don't get pressed as much. So I have room to work. I like getting pressed. I like doing different releases and stuff like that. But no, just being able to have open space, being in the slot, and finding the open space, which I feel is one of my strong suits. I've always been good at finding the open field. So
you're one of those rare hybrid players, played tight end, back to wide receiver. What to you is the biggest difference in shifting positions? Because, I mean, it seems like your best serve coming out of that slot, and you could do that as a tight end or as wide receiver. So what's the biggest difference in playing this position versus that?
The one main biggest difference is just the blocking aspect, how tight end you blocked within the line of scrimmage, DNs, and receiver you're blocking linebackers, safeties, cornerbacks.
And which would you rather block?
Linebackers, safeties, and cornerbacks.
Because you're like, those guys are way bigger than me. Don't put me out there with them. What do you like most so far about this new coaching staff? You get a new OC and Mike Denbrock. What do you like about the new guys?
So much. I could go on for days of what I love about them. Just their different philosophies, the way they act and engage around us, the way they do different things. If they say they're going to do something, they do it. And everything is real blatant. Everything is done with purpose. It's just a whole bunch of things.
Do you get all these LSU people? Well, a lot of people are my age or older that are in the media. Has anybody accidentally called you Blaine Besh?
I'm way better looking than him, so they would be wrong for calling me Blaine.
You go from playing for Coach O to Coach Kelly, two very different style of coaches. But like I said, I asked you kind of about Denbrock, but what do you like most about Coach Brian Kelly? Because, man, he seems like a straight shooter, but also extremely likable, a man about business. But he's, you feel like he's going to get the job done, right?
He's like, how do I explain it? It's like you said, he's very straightforward, but a likable straightforward. Some people are like, like they say things and they don't ask of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it can kind of come off as like, I don't know the word, it kind of come off as like demanding.
Yeah.
And obviously every head coach and every coach has to demand out of his players. And when there's time to do it, he does, but he's also very good about, just interacting with us and being able to ask us to do different things. And obviously he has all control, complete and utter control, being our head coach, but he just knows how to interact with us in a very good way.
You guys were able to get Keishawn Butte to stick around and play another season. There were some rumblings. Maybe he was going to look at the portal and all this, but you guys are able to get him back. Jeray Jenkins is back for a senior year. And then you got this big crop of talented sophomores like you, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, Chris Hilton. What'd you see out of some of those guys in the spring?
Everybody, especially with Coach Hank, everybody's elevating. Everybody's getting bigger, stronger, faster. Everybody's knowing the game more and through the in and outs of it, the nuances of the game. The little things that really matter, that really separate you at the college level. Everybody's big, strong, fast. But it's the little things that Coach Hank has been teaching us that everybody's really clicking and getting along to. Nobody in our room is average, not even close to it. Everybody's a beast and animal in our room, which just builds a sense of competitiveness. And the best teams in the NFL, college ball, whatever it may be, have a lot of depth, which then in turn means that there's a lot of competitiveness and there's a lot of competition.
I heard, we didn't even touch on Cortez Hankton coming over from Georgia, but a Louisiana guy back in Louisiana. I guess it means a lot for him to be back and coaching you guys up, right?
100%.
You do have a quarterback competition going on. I want to ask you, who's the starter? But what did you see out of Jaden Daniels coming in the spring, coming over from Arizona State?
Definitely a dual threat. Can roll very fast, very quick. If the pocket collapses, he's very good at getting loose. He also has a sneaky strong arm, though.
You were able to play a little bit with Garrett Nussmeier. Obviously, we know what Miles Brennan can do when he's healthy. What did you see out of those guys?
Miles Brennan, definitely a pocket passer. Likes delivering strikes. Just sitting in the pocket. He's very good at reading defenses. Has a lot of experience. He was behind Joe Burrow, one of the best to do it in college football. But at the same time, Garrett Nussmeier is kind of like a mix of Jaden and Miles. Pocket passer, but if the pocket escapes, he can definitely get out and make the play. Then you have Walker Howard, who is the young buck coming in.
Your high school teammate.
Yeah, my high school teammate. He's been evolving and growing every practice, workout session. He's been deep diving into film and just learning the speed of the game, different things like that.
You give him a little crap now that you're like big man on camp? Like you've been here a year and he's just getting there. Can you kind of haze him a little bit?
Not really. That's one of my best friends, but no,
so
I
definitely
give him a little bit of something every now and then.
Real quick though, on these quarterbacks, Miles has been there around a while. Nuss was there, but you were playing with Max Johnson a year ago, and you developed some chemistry with him. So, what's the challenge there creating that chemistry with these guys?
It takes time, and we've spent a lot of time together, perfecting our craft throughout the spring ball, and then throughout the summer. We're going to keep doing it during the fall. So whenever the season rolls around, we're going to be ready to go.
Give me just an overall takeaway, what you came away with from the spring, because, man, that bowl game was brutal, where barely any of you guys were available. Yeah. I was there in Houston, and it was rough to watch, but it had to feel good to get everybody back together in the spring. But overall takeaway from what you saw in the spring?
That we have a lot of talent in this team, and we have a lot of really good coaches. That really, for me, goes to say that the sky's the limit for what we can do once we really all get on the same page and start connecting, which I think is really going to happen during fall camp.
I saw you had a couple NIL deals, but what's Jack Bech when you're not playing football? What are you doing?
I have a dog, so hanging out with him, playing video games, watching movies on Netflix, like TV series, and hanging out with my friends.
What's the last thing you watched streaming?
Stranger Things.
Okay.
My favorite TV show of all time.
I didn't like it. at first, and then my wife and I got back into it. We
You
fell in love
loved
with it.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, we're in Atlanta here. Like a lot of the filming locations are around here.
Really?
Yeah, like the lab is like 10 minutes from here.
Really?
Yeah, I think guys should go make a detour and go check it out.
That would be sick. Are you talking about like the lab where all the monsters are from? That would be
like
dope.
it's one of the small it's one of the college campuses here. I mean, it doesn't look like that on the inside, but the outside is that.
Yeah, that's sick. I would love to go check that out.
I think it just blew your mind. Like all the neighborhoods and all that, they're all like 20 minutes from downtown Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah.
So Hawkins is in Atlanta?
Most of the shooting locations, yeah, were around here.
Wow. Now you're gonna get me in trouble because I'm not gonna stop aggravating Coach Kelly to bring me to the Stranger Things sites.
I was gonna say tell Michael Bonnet, but go above him, go to Coach Kelly and say, Coach, we gotta make a detour. We gotta go see the filming locations of Stranger Things. And he's gonna go, what is a stranger thing? I don't even know what that is.
He definitely would. That's funny.
He is Jack Bech. Jack, best of luck this season, man.
Thanks
so much for taking some time.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good one.
Which NFL stars move the betting line the most starting July 18th? Locked On gives you the 50 most valuable players in the NFL from the odds makers at BetOnline, available July 18th on Locked On NFL, wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Need to remind you about our friends over at BetOnline. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all your betting needs and sports information. You can find all the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including this year's NHL playoffs, Major League Baseball. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering information, including live betting, esports, scores. They've got all the offseason stuff for college football, Heisman odds to win the college football playoff. All of that is up there for you at BetOnline. They remain your number one spot, best spot for fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite sports and events, including boxing, golf, MMA, and of course, college football. Head on over to their website today. You can do so on your mobile device. Learn all about the trends and action going on in sports. It is BetOnline. BetOnline, it is where the game starts. Running along here, Locked On SEC, and catching up with different players from all across the conference. And now we head out to Oxford, Mississippi, and catch up with Nick Broeker, offensive lineman for the Ole Miss Rebels. How was your offseason, man? You've been busy.
Oh, yeah. It's been very busy, but it's been a really good offseason so far. I think it's been very productive.
Let's talk a little bit about you played some left tackle, you played left guard. Have you kind of settled in on, is it going to be that guard spot, still a chance to play tackle, or you just going to play wherever they ask you to play?
I mean, definitely I'll play wherever they ask me. I think right now, I think guard's kind of the spot, but, I'm definitely still keeping the tackle, abilities with me. So I'll just play wherever's needed.
Last season, a lot of new pieces from last season to this season, particularly through the transfer portal. It's been hard kind of getting to know so many of those new guys throughout the spring.
A little bit, but I think, as a staff, they've done a really great job of bringing in good people, as well as really great players, which has been really cool to see. Everybody's really easy to talk to, and, they've really bought in with, what some of us that have been here have already done.
Let's talk a little bit about the quarterback battle, because that's what everybody wants to talk about. I won't ask you who has the upper hand or that sort of thing, but just what did you see out of Jackson and Luke in the spring?
Yeah, I both thought they did a really good job, competed well, but competed the right way. They helped each other still through it out and really just got each other better. So, from an older guy looking at that, that's really cool to see.
And look, Luke got in the Sugar Bowl, and that went down, and it would have been easy to just say he's the guy, but you got to respect the coaching staff saying, look, let's make this a competition. They go get Jackson, who obviously has a lot of skins on the wall from USC, and may the best man win. I mean, that makes everybody better, right?
Yeah, no doubt. They're definitely both gotten better so far, and they're continuing to both get better, and, so are the receivers, so are the running backs, and so are we as an offensive line. So it's been really fun to see.
You mentioned the running backs, a few new faces there. Zach Evans from TCU, Ulysses Bentley from SMU. What have you seen from those running backs so far?
Yeah, they've both done a really great job. Obviously they can really carry the rock and hit some of those big, home run plays, but they've done a really good job in pass pro of, understanding their reads and the concepts and, picking up the right backers and everything. So from that standpoint, it's been really fun.
Everybody always talks about, it's the Lane Kiffin offense and high flying. We're going to score a ton of points, but it's like the underrated aspect of Ole Miss the last few years has been the run game has been so good from Jerrion Ely and Snoop Connor. And then you get these guys coming in. It really is like, it's not talked about enough how well the running backs perform in this offense.
Yeah, definitely. I think we might have led the SEC in, yards per carry last year, which is a really cool statistic for us. And, a lot of that goes to the running backs. A lot of that goes to us, coaches. It's a really, from an offensive standpoint, it's really everybody's involved in the run game. Receivers got to hold their blocks as well. And quarterback's got to make the right read, and running back's got to read our block. So if you can run the ball in this league, I think it gives you a good chance to win. And I think that's what happened for us last year.
You take pride in that, right? As a guard, saying, "Hell yeah, we led him in yards per carry."
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's a big thing for any offensive line, especially ours. Is we want to lead the league in rushing per carry.
Coach Charlie Weiss coming in to run the offense under Lane. What do you like about this offense? How similar is it to last season? And some new wrinkles. What's it look like?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some slight tweaks. I think that's how it is with any offense. But I think Coach Weiss has done a really great job. He's really gotten to know us well, but also coached us really hard and coached us really well. And called, I thought in the spring he called a really good set of plays and everything. He coached really well, so it's been really fun to have him.
I saw you're from Illinois. What's the best food from up there that you miss being down in the South?
Definitely Chicago deep dish pizza.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So what's is there a specific topping you go for, or just whatever?
With deep dish, I always put sausage on it.
Okay. Pepperoni and sausage, or just sausage?
Sometimes I'll do that.
Extra cheese?
Normally not extra cheese on the deep dish for me, honestly.
Okay.
It's normally already.
It's already
enough. Yeah, it's already enough.
Are you a folder? Do you fold any?
I do not.
Okay. But you don't do fork and knife, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Because that's a big no-no.
Mm-mm.
You can't
You
eat pizza with a fork
No,
and a knife.
Do
Do you have a favorite food since you've been playing down in the South?
Like favorite restaurant?
Well, okay. So Coach O used to always talk about back in the day when he coached at Ole Miss, you'd stop at a grocery store or a gas station and you get chicken on a stick, right?
It's awesome. It's like super, like you would never expect it, but like even the gas stations, like you can get breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's unbelievable. It's like one stop. You can get gas, get a drink, and some breakfast.
Now, I was doing some research on you, and I was going through some Ole Miss videos from last year. They had you mic'd up for a little series they did, and they had you in the kitchen cooking. Are you a good cook?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of my skills I've really acquired in college.
So, what are you, Emeril Lagasse? What are you doing there?
No, I don't cook anything. I mean, super extravagant. I kind of just try to stick to the basics and make those, trying to perfect those and make those really good. But I do really like to cook. I try to cook as often as I can.
Yeah, I saw you showed your roommates, you cooked and you put it on a plate and you served it to them. And one of them said, okay, that actually does look pretty good. So I think that's a pretty good compliment.
Yeah, it's a very fair compliment. I was like, working on like stuffed chicken breast, and they're like, oh, that looks okay. I was like, okay, what did you make today?
There's no tougher critics than the guys around you. I did like the comment, though. You said your goal was to not burn the house down, and it looks like you were pretty good there.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely succeeded with that goal.
Nick Broeker, offensive lineman for the Ole Miss Rebels. You're a senior now. I mean, this is your last go of it. How much? I mean, you want them to have a special season, right, and kind of go on top and say you left it all out there, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, it's the last year, so definitely trying to cherish all of it, every day, because it's kind of winding down. But like you said, I hope it's a really special year for not just myself, but the rest of the team as well. Just
give us a little peek behind the curtain. Now, Saturday you guys play so physical throughout the SEC. It's physical week in and week out. But what's a Sunday like for you? What's the recovery period like?
For me, I normally wake up and go straight to the training room, get whatever treatments needed. And then I always like to work out on Sundays as well, because for me, I feel like it kind of gets rid of some of the lactic acid. And sometimes too, if you're sore in a place you didn't think you'd be sore, you can kind of find out by working out as well, try to run a little bit, and then always get a massage.
When you're not playing football, what is Nick Broeker doing in his downtime? Are you a video game guy, Netflix? What are you doing?
A little bit of everything. I really like to golf,
Okay.
Play video games, and watch movies.
What's the strength on golf? Short game, driving?
For me right now, it's been my iron play lately.
Okay.
So I feel like that's something I've really been working on too, though, just with my free time. Whenever I get free time, I like to hit the driving range. So,
but still the occasional drive off to the side.
Oh yeah, no, it might hook right a little bit, but I can figure myself out of most of the situations at least.
All right, you mentioned Netflix. What's the last thing you watched streaming? HBO, Netflix, whatever.
I'm trying to think of the last show I really watched all the way through.
Or movie.
I'm more of a movie guy,
okay,
personally.
Documentaries?
Sometimes.
Okay.
More of a movie guy, though, personally. Trying to find good shows to watch, though.
I think I forget who it was. Maybe it was the Jalen Catalan. One of them told us they watched the Liam Neeson movie nonstop or something. They said it was just like every other Liam Neeson movie.
I'm sure. Yeah, but they're all very similar in a lot of aspects.
He is an action star in his own right. Nick Broeker coming to Saturday football fields very soon out there for the Ole Miss Rebels. Nick, thanks so much for the time, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you a ton for having me.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, that is going to do it for this edition of Locked On SEC. My thanks again to Nick Broeker and Jack Bech. We'll have plenty more coverage from SEC Media Days tomorrow, including more one-on-one interviews with players, some coaches, and much, much more. Locked On SEC. Thank you guys for making us your first listen every day. Now go make your second listen. Check out some of our other great Locked On podcasts like Locked On Ole Miss, Locked On Bama, Locked On Vols. Plenty of things to choose from. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow right here from SEC Media Days in Atlanta.